Welcome back to Jesus Coffee and Wine. Today, January 16th, is not only episode 13 with the lovely and very talented Carlie Shaw, it also happens to be my 44th birthday. I only call that out because it's glaringly obvious to the people that know and love me, who are also my most dedicated listeners/viewers. They know the date. They know my birthday, so yes, I'm acknowledging it. I'm thankful to have another year on this earth with my amazing family, and I'm thrilled to be releasing an episode on this great day. So there it is. But besides that, Carlie is fantastic. She has a new single out called Back to You. I will share a little of that at the end of this episode and would love for you to go everywhere you get your music, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you stream. Look for Carlie, Carlie Shaw, Shaw. Stream Back to You. And what's really exciting is that you get to hear all about her dream and how she made that a reality with this song and pending album. So enjoy my conversation with Carlie. I know I did. She's such a light. She's such a gift, not only to the world of worship and ministry, but as a mother, wife, sister, daughter, friend. She's somebody I've really come to admire and love. So enjoy.
The hair a little,
I mean,
There we
let's
go.
both just start off by zhuzhing.
Yeah, just a little zhuzh,
Hi, Carlie.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on this ridiculous podcast with me.
Let's not call it ridiculous.
Okay, it's wonderful. No, I love
It's
I
your
love it.
podcast. Let's
It's
just call
fun.
it your podcast.
Okay,
Yes.
we won't qualify it. We'll just call it a podcast. Thanks for coming on a podcast with me.
Your podcast.
Or a version of a podcast that I'm trying to produce.
I love it. It's happening.
Anyways,
happy for
I'm
you.
so happy
Good.
to have you because you are doing some awesome things. But aside from what you do, which is like amazing, you are such a cool person. And you've always been
Aw.
such a sweetheart since I met you, probably 11, 12 years ago
Mm-hmm.
when Joe and I
Yeah,
started
girl.
dating. And I feel like just in the past couple of years, we've been able to spend a little more time together and get to know each other a little better. I just adore you and your sweet husband and your beautiful boys. And like, I think you have such an awesome ministry right now. And not just that, but just at what you're doing that's awesome as a wife and mom and artist. And I'd love for you to like share what you're doing because I think the world needs to
Yeah.
know and to hear you. So just this past week, you released your first single.
Ever. So fun.
Tell me all about it, how we got here. Like, I just want you to share your story with the world because the song is amazing. And
Thank you.
before I forget, I'd love for you to send me, if you have like an MP3 or something you can send me that I can play in the
Mhm.
beginning and end of this so that people can make sure they listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we want them to stream it, right? So we're going to have to
Oh, yeah.
direct them to do, but I'll share a clip.
Yes. So
Yeah.
fun. Well, I'm so glad to be here. I love that you're doing this.
Thank you.
I'm just like all about, let's just like do what we want to do.
That's the thing. Let's just do it.
Let's do what we want to do and stop not doing it and go for it. So yeah, Carlie, good old friend of the family.
This is true. This is true.
This is true. But we'll hopefully have some stuff that we can chat about. You mentioned my song that recently came out. Very excited about that. It's been, a long, long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the song itself, but just a project like this in general.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like, I've always wanted to do it. Like always. Like since I was a 12-year-old.
I love that.
And
And sometimes
here
you
I
just,
am.
like you said, you just have to say, I'm just going to do it. I'm doing it because I'm doing it.
You have to just decide, I am going to do it. No one is going to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it. And it was one of those things that, because I'm 38 now, I'm not going to be shy about how old we are.
Young and beautiful, please.
Let's go. And I just knew it was one of those things that at 58, I would still be like, I really wish I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because at 28, I wanted to do it. At 18, I wanted to do it. And like, as the years kept going on, I still was like, I need to get this out of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's been really fun A lot of hard work, really surreal, but
Your single just came out, but it's part of a
yeah,
larger project. Like you have a whole album, correct?
I have one in the works
Okay.
at the very, very baby stages. I have,
Okay.
like, songs that need to be mothered and developed and loved on.
Mhm.
So, like, yeah, it's gonna be a big undertaking.
What's that process like for you though? Like with this song specifically. So it's interesting. So as soon as it came out, of course, like my kids were listening to it on the way to school. I was listening to it at
Yeah.
home. I mean, the girls are, especially Ella, like your biggest fans. So
I just can't.
we love you.
So precious.
But it's interesting because when Joe came home, I'm like, did you listen to Carly's song? He's like, yeah, so great, like so exciting. And there's this conversation actually that I had with Julie, who was on Joe's cousin. She produced an
Mhm.
album or wrote an
Yes,
album.
at Tones.
Yeah,
Mhm.
at the same studio as you.
Love
And
her.
she's like, I'm just like so scared. Sorry, Julie, if you're listening, but not scared. But she's like, there's this like trepidation about writing something that may be categorized as like a worship song, right? Because there's this like
Mm,
heavy connotation that and responsibility that comes along with that. And so, what's really interesting that I'll share with you, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is that
mhm,
Joe's interpretation was this isn't a worship song, and my interpretation was no, this is like a love letter of faith, like
mhm,
not necessarily a worship song, right? Like this
mhm,
categorical. So I'm curious what your intention was, because clearly the message is one of built upon and foundation of and
mhm.
story of faith, right? It's
Yes.
beautiful no matter what, but we were kind of like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, like from
Mhm,
each other's perspective. So I'm curious, like what your process is, what that means to you, what you want the song to mean to people,
mhm,
because like that
mhm,
intention is important, and like how you got
mm.
there.
Yeah, for me as a worship leader, since I was, like, 15,
Mhm.
that's my heart, like, that's my love, that's my
Mhm.
passion, that's just, like, what comes out of me.
Yeah.
I'm not a person who, like, just I don't know, I'm not a person also that, like, oozes out songs. I feel like Julie is. I feel like she just, like she can write a song about, like, walking down the street, and it's, like, so good and catchy and, like
She does have a gift, but so do
she
you.
does.
Yeah.
Thank you. But and I'm still, like, developing that. But, yeah, so the worship category, is just, like, where I live.
Mhm.
And just like I knew that any music project that I would do would be about the Lord,
Mhm.
would be about his presence, about who he is to me, but I never really had an aim for it to be sung at church
Mhm.
or like to me, the song Back to You would not work on a Sunday morning.
Mhm.
It's just like just not a Sunday
Yeah.
worship song. But I do believe it is a song that you can worship to. So
Hmm. Mhm.
I think that you're both kinda right, like, I it is a worship song, like, but
Yeah.
not a Sunday morning worship song.
Well, it's like
It's like
your personal
yeah,
worship,
and
right?
I think yeah, and I think it can bring people to worship because it is talking about the Lord and who he is and how
Mhm.
beautiful, like, just the essence of him and all the things about him is and our response to that is worship. And so I think for me, the songs that inspire me are the songs that I really am like, I love this, are
Mhm.
ones that, yes, that we do sing on a Sunday morning, but also that like I can like crank in my car and on any day of the week. And it is still a song about the Lord, but doesn't have to be in that category. So
Yeah, I
I,
think there's a lot of Christian songs that we categorize as worship because we can have that experience with the song, but it is not necessarily categorically or definitively a worship song, like you said, to be sung on a Sunday morning. I think
yeah.
there is a nuance there, right? Don't you think? I mean,
Percent. Yeah, 100%, and I think, you know, people have asked me in this process, like, do you want it to be on the radio?" Or like, "Oh, like, K-Love," and all that kinda stuff, and I was like, like,
too much.
listen, I, like, can't listen to K-Love just because it's so repetitive, and it only plays, like, the same artists all the time, and it really
Mhm.
bothers me because there are so many Christian artists out there who write gorgeous, amazing music that bring you to worship that nobody hears.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't, like, have a Spotify account, who, like, searches for, like, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, and it's funny too, this particular song, and I think I will continue to learn that songs do this, it started out totally different,
Hmm.
even, like, with a different chorus, just before it was done.
Yeah.
And so it's gone on a journey of its own.
Mhm.
Like, the first version of it even just sounded totally different. Like,
Yeah.
my favorite comment I have gotten was my brother had texted it to someone, and they got back to him, and they said, "It's a bop." And I was like,
That is a high
I'm like, "This song
I love that.
into something really fun, but did not start that way."
Hmm.
And so, yeah, and I've also just like gone on like its sound journey and its meaning journey. And, initially like the lyrics of the song come from like Lamentations 3, with his mercies are being new every morning. And as you continue to read,
Mhm.
the writer talks about like God being your portion. Like he is my portion and like that's it. And like he's enough. And so the song is just literally from the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think there's a wave of Christian music coming as well that's just not for Sunday. It's for like devotions in the morning and like
Yeah.
whenever
I
you
think
need it.
there's value in that too. Like, do you think your subsequent songs that you want as part of this particular project, now that you've like started this journey on this album following back to you, like, do you think you would write any songs that aren't in this same lane? Like, one of the conversations I had with Julie, and I think on the podcast, was just this idea that Christians who make music, do they always necessarily have to create a song that's considered in this worship category or Christian, or is it that your faith bleeds through in whatever you're writing?
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
I just love that it there is no box. There should not be a box and there is no box. And I
Hmm.
think whatever comes out of you is what you should bring to the table. Like
Yeah.
like that is why I have, like, tons of Christian friends who are writers. Some of them only do Sunday worship stuff, like,
Hmm.
that's just what they
Yeah.
bleed. And, s but some of them don't, and I love it, and,
Yeah.
like, the world needs both, and the world
Agreed.
needs whatever you have, right? Because like, you bring what you bring, and it's only what's in you.
Yeah.
Like, we're all just so unique, so I don't there should be no boxes. There should be
Well, it's that artistry piece, right? It's like even with this
yeah.
podcast, with I've had so many people that are not Christians that have either listened or that I've come across that are interested in participating for one reason or another. And, a lot of times the first thing somebody will say to me is, "Well, I'm not religious. I'm not."
Mhm,
And I struggle with that a little bit for this platform because it is very foundational to everything I do. So for me, with us talking about music, and if it's Christian music or music by a Christian or both or
mhm,
sometimes one or the other, like that's kind of how I view this podcast. Like sometimes it's a
mhm,
very faith-driven conversation, and if
mhm.
it's not, faith is still what's driving me, but that doesn't mean that that consumes every conversation or everything I do or everything I write or everything I say. So
Totally.
I think that's important, for people like yourself and other artists, that, to not put yourself in a box, because
Yeah.
your giftings to write, to be musical, to worship, they don't always, one doesn't beget the other necessarily or have to, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think just, like, even as you grow as a person, like, I'm, like, curious about what this next project is gonna sound like for me. Because like,
Yeah.
this song, when I was working with my producer, a lot of, like, my first song, at least in my experience as an artist, like, I didn't know what my sound was, or, like, I
Hmm.
don't know what was, like, gonna come, and I'd be like, "Oh, I really like this, like, 80s something in the '80s is, like,
Love
calling to
that.
me," or, like
Yeah.
and I had this, like, different key sound, but I was like, "But it's too, like, in my face," and so, like,
Hmm.
that changed, and but, like, just going on this journey, even just of, like, what sounds do I love? What
Hmm.
sounds speak to me?
Hmm.
Even just, like, what words speak to me?
Yeah.
What feeling speaks to me? And I know that that's different for me than it was, like, 10 years ago, and I know
Sure.
that that's still gonna change. So, like, just letting yourself evolve
Mhm.
and letting yourself learn yourself
Mhm.
is so important, and that's, like, takes time. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a year of just, like, learning that for
Yeah.
me, especially on
Sure.
my first project, my first, like, real project, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and we talked about this a little bit before when we were first talking about having you on this. You were talking about how like you've learned a little bit more or been able to like you've walked through this journey of like your own identity and like
Mhm,
has that unfolded through this process and also bled into other areas of your life because I'm sure, once you start down that journey of like, personal identity or who you are in
mhm,
Christ, but also who you are as a wife and mother and friend and sister and daughter and all those things. Like
mhm.
how did that all play out for you? Because that's a lot.
Yeah, yes. It it is a
It's
lot.
a lot.
I feel like we need to go back,
Yeah.
or should we go back?
Let's go back.
I need to go back to this story that I have.
Okay. Love it.
Good friend of mine, I was probably in, like, my early 20s, and a good friend mentor of mine asked me, like, what I wanna be when I grow up, basically.
Don't we all love that
And
question?
I'm gonna embarrass myself right now
Hey,
because this is, like, embarrassing to me, but, like, I've just been like, "That's
it's all
okay."
part of the struggle.
She was me however many years ago,
Yep.
and, like, I'm still me, but I just wouldn't say the same thing. I said I wanted to be a pastor's wife,
Okay.
okay?
Not many people have
Now
that.
no, like, a little embarrassing,
No,
but
but I get it, actually.
I've had to figure out why did I say that?
Yeah, what
Because
does
for
that
a
mean?
while, I didn't really think anything of it, and then I got
Mhm.
married, and I think for me, marriage really helped me kind of get to know myself a little bit,
Yep.
because you have to kinda,
I'll
like,
do
face
that.
yourself, right?
You sure do.
Oh, mhm. So I remember, like, telling Callum about this conversation and, like, just kinda being really mad at myself because I've also really grown to love, like, who we are as women and, like, just what we have to offer, and I think in my younger years, I was a little less women loving, I'll say. I don't know, just like, "Oh, like, the men lead and,
Yeah,
we help," and that's good in many places, but we also have
a
a
place.
place.
Yeah.
And so, kind of like dissecting this, what I saw growing up was like my pastor's wife leading worship ministry, leading
Mm.
the music on Sunday, having a voice, and like, but
Wow, that's
that's
really
who I saw.
interesting, Carly. Like, that's really fascinating that you were able to I mean, it took you a while to get
It
there,
took me a while, but I finally was like,
but it makes
this
sense.
is why I said this
Yeah, that makes total sense.
because it was like the only context that I saw myself able to like, I guess, use what I thought I should do,
Mhm.
at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
like, for the church and, like, figure out whatever the heck else I'm supposed to do in my life. But yeah, so that was, like, really, really interesting.
Wow,
And
that's
then this
fascinating.
really crazy realization, and really glad that I had it because I realized, like, oh, like, little me just wanted to, like, be me, but
Mhm.
didn't see any other pathway in
Yeah.
which to do that. And so, just like side
Well,
note, you don't have to be a pastor's wife to do that.
was just going to say, doesn't that speak a lot to, and we don't need to get into this necessarily, but I do want to call it out that, like, doesn't that speak to the messages we're receiving or the churches are giving to the young women and the little girls in the church that that is your value? Your place is behind the pulpit, behind your husband. Like,
Mhm,
there's not a lot of value placed on all of those things that you're describing, or the women in the church that I've watched in my experience or know the women in our lives that have dedicated their entire
mhm,
lives to
mhm.
the church and the people of the church, in addition to their own families. And there's so much value in the work they're doing. And it's just this silent, quiet grind, really. And like, we don't say out loud how valuable they are for that. And like that,
Yes.
what you're saying in saying, I want to be a pastor's wife, and really being able to dissect that later on is fascinating, yes, but it's also slightly sad that, like, the
Mhm.
reality is these are the messages we received as kids in the church, as young women in the church, and I don't I do think it's changed. I don't
I
think it's
do.
where
It's
it should
changing.
be. It's changing, it's changed, but for sure there's a long way to go because that exists as a strong message in far too many congregations.
Yeah, and so, like,
IMO. IMO. IMO.
yeah, like, it's 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 crazy to think about. It is sad, but it is, like, something that has also made me, really care about like, I don't necessarily, like I don't blink to have to, like, sing or lead worship in front of people, but I actually do get quite anxious about speaking, like, even for
Mm.
2 minutes.
Why do
Because
you think
also
that
I'm
is? Like, why?
well, so, like, also, we as worship leaders, we get, like, 2 to 3 minutes to, like, preach a sermon, in a sense, just to
Mhm.
say something meaningful,
Sure.
and so I think I
No
just am
pressure.
like, this has to, like, be a
You're
home
just
run.
ushering in the spirit, making sure everyone feels it, get the tears going.
I have to be clear, concise, make sense, theologically correct, like,
Right, right,
so
right.
I do really
It's a lot
feel
of
that, like,
pressure.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's probably why I think if I, I get nervous even if I'm, like, talking for 20 minutes, I'd rather, like, lead a small group discussion or something. But that's just me. But so even with that, I still make it a point, like, even if I'm, like, leading worship with Callum, if we're on together, like, we have a thing where, like, I'm doing the talking because we're both passionate about young women, older women, all the
Mm.
women and men seeing women share their heart, speak the word, and all that kind of stuff. So, like, it has definitely made me an more intentional
Yeah.
because it would be like easier for me just to be like, you do it. You're better at it. It
Yeah.
comes easier to you.
Does that come easier to him? Like, is he like, yeah, whatever, I'll take the mic?
It does come easier to him. Like
Yeah.
he still has to like think about it and like,
Sure. Of course. Of
we're
course.
intentional,
Yeah.
but it takes me quite a bit longer and
Mm.
I'm a bit more stressed about it. But that's fun behind the scenes stuff. So, like, let's, like,
Very
fast forward. Oh, I
Yeah.
know. Fast forward to, like, 2-ish years ago. So we're, like, talking about the process of, let's say, like, just, like, birthing this project.
Mhm.
I was in a place where, I'm, like, in a job that I don't really love, but it's paying for the groceries. I'm contributing to the family. It's all good. I enjoy working. I just didn't love this job. But Um, I just knew I needed someone who knew kind of like the world, the churchy world and like worship leading world, and all that comes with it. And also someone who was a creative, like an artist. I wanted to
Mhm.
learn from someone who's done kind of what I want to do,
Yeah.
which is this project. And so I called on a friend of mine. I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her name's Nikki Lerner. She's a boss, coach, culture coach, whatever. But we hop on the first call and she asked me just straight out of the she just doesn't play around. She's like, "All right, Carlie Shaw, who are you?"
Like, I go, I can't do that. I can't do those questions.
Literally, "Who are you?"
I'm somebody who's hanging up.
I'm out.
No, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
I'm
No,
done.
no, no.
I'm actually done. But I cried many tears in that 1 hour little
I
session that we
bet.
had, but I it was just so interesting, and I encourage anyone who's listening to answer this question, like, literally sit with it, because I went through, like, these phases where I, like, stripped completely back, and I was just like, "Well, I'm a daughter of God, period." And
Yep.
she's just like,
What does that
"Well,
mean?
so am I."
Yeah.
So, like, how does that how do we are we supposed to live the same life?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
My
so, like
gosh.
yeah, so, like, she really dug it out of me, and it was really a really fun exercise, and what I realized out of it just was all the things that I value and all the things that make me me. Like
So, did she walk you through? Because I'm actually really interested in this because I recently participated in this women's event where, whatever, I was the speaker. We won't go there.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
you
what?
were.
Well, okay, it was like 10 of us. I mean, it was. Hello, honey, oi, it's your celebrity.
You love it. I wish I was
Anyway,
there.
anyways, no, my point is not that. My point is I wanted to talk about these women about identity. And so often we answer the question of who we are with what we do.
Mhm.
And One of the exercises we did was I had everybody take an index card. And as I was kind of walking them through who I am and what I do, but how that all interplays and what it all
Mhm.
means, I was like, write down everything you are to yourself. Use adjectives, use roles, use verbs,
Mhm.
whatever it is that you are. And write a laundry list, because a lot of times I just think we're like, well, I'm a wife and a mom and I'm a worship leader. But there's like 100 other things that you are based
Mhm.
on your heart, based on right, all of these things that make up who we are, but we so often answer with what we do. So that's my long way
Mhm.
of saying, did she force you to talk more about the adjectives than the verbs? Do you know what I mean by that?
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. I think she was I think it there is a both and, but it is the in the doing. So, like, I
For
do
sure.
sing,
Right. Well, and
right?
you are a mom, and
Mar
that's very much
Yeah.
part of who you are. So that's not to negate those things.
Mhm. But, yeah, it was honestly, she just, like, left me out in the she left me out in the cold. She, like, made me figure it out. She was like she just gave me a good old silent treatment because, like,
She
I it
cassera'd you, right?
oh, yeah, 100%.
I married
And
in,
but
so
it
I don't have that gift. I,
I'm so
I
jealous.
fill the
I
I
can't
fill
get
the
over
empty space.
Yeah, no.
Anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, but it's like sitting with that question, being forced to answer it.
Hmm.
Some of the things that I do came out, but some of the things that surprised me, like the first thing that came to my mind after I kind of cleared all that was I'm a dreamer.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but that's like what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
And what's interesting is like this whole project is something that like I always dreamed about.
Wow.
But that, like, wasn't on my mind,
Hmm.
at the time. I just knew I needed some help to get me out of a rut, but it was just really cool to see how the Lord used her, how he pulled things out of me that are there that I just almost didn't name.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I never called myself a dreamer until that moment. And then, like, 2 years later, I'm, like, launching a full-blown campaign about a dream I've always had
Yeah. But.
that God totally blew out of the water,
Hmm.
and now I'm able to do that dream. But
Hmm.
so yeah, identity so interesting, so deep, so um I think something that we really can tend to avoid.
Hmm.
Mm, and then we never end up getting to the place that like we want to be or
Sure.
doing the thing that we want to do.
Well, right.
So
How can you accept yourself or expect others to accept you for who you are if you can't identify who you are? Right. Like
yeah,
that's a big realization.
100%, and, like, even though like, for me, coming back to, like, this song, it was, like, a year of, like, just deciding to do it, like, every week. Like, "Okay, no, I'm doing this, I'm still doing this."
Hmm.
Like, I had to just continually decide because it's so much easier just to not do it because it's really hard,
Sure.
but I always knew at the end of the day, I would be really disappointed with myself slash regret not doing it. Like,
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people like me out there. I don't think everyone is like me where they've always had this like dream about something. Like mine, it's like always been the same. And so I think there's some people like that. I also think other people do it all the time. They're like, oh, I want to do this and do it. Or
Yeah.
some people maybe they don't have that, but they have things that are more like physically in front of them that are just like, this is what I do,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, yeah. That's easier, right? Like something's right staring you in the face and you just do it.
Hmm.
But what, like, as your dream, what's your end goal? Like, what's the goal with this project? Not just the song, but like overall, what has the dream been? And like, how do you
Yeah.
get from here to there? Or do you feel like you're already living it?
Yeah, so I've been asked that question a few times, and I kinda love it because I think the dreams morphed over time as I have grown. So, like, I think when I was really baby, um, I had this, like, dream of, like, I would get picked up by, like, a label and just it would everybody
Hmm.
would be able to do it for me. And I'm like, "I can sing, but I'm not, like, first album, Songs from a Pastor's Wife, Little Stories from a Pastor's Wife. And so what I think that's a really immature, I think that's a really, like, immature dream, and that's okay, like, that's where I was at. I
Sure.
think but as I've
The way I don't think it's I hear you, but, like, I don't know that I would call it immature. I get what you're saying, like, for you, it was an immature way to approach it maybe, but
yes,
I don't think that that's, like you could still have that dream.
sure. I just don't know how realistic it is, and I have
Okay, well,
0 hope in that dream. Like, but
realism,
that's,
blah,
like
blah, blah.
which is usually so not me, like, that's,
Yeah.
I'm like the, "Whatever, let's go for it in the moment."
Yeah.
But as I think the fun part for me has been the dream has almost become to accomplish it
Mm.
and see it through and get it done. And what's been really fun, like even just with this one song, is the things that I've learned that the process would be that I didn't know it would be. So for instance, I realized early on that I could not do it alone. Like it literally is going to take me a village of people to accomplish this.
Mhm.
I can't play the drums. I don't know the ins and outs of Pro Tools, Logic, fancy schmancy waves, sounds, all this kind of stuff. I don't know how to do so many things,
Mhm.
even though I was still teaching myself a ton.
Sure.
But like, I'm also all about like just surrounding yourself with people who are like better than you. So
Yeah,
like,
totally.
let the better people do it, you know?
Yep.
And so like, for me, the enjoyment of and this is just part of who I am, but, like, the enjoyment of, like, and the honor of having really special people to me play on this song,
Mhm.
was part of that, like
I love
that
that.
felt dreamy for me,
Mhm. Yeah.
like, really close friend of mine from Chicago, he played the bass on it, sent it in. Old childhood friend who was, like, actually friends with my producer. Like, it was so many full circles. He
Love
lives
it.
in on the West Coast. He played the drums for me, sent them in to my producer. Like, my brother's playing on the track, my husband's playing the keys.
Mm.
It's just, like, the communal and honestly, the love that went into that because I did not pay these beautiful people. They just
Mhm.
did it
I
because
get
they're
it.
they're beautiful and they were like, "I'll do it." Like, so that to me is part of that, like, living out that dream is
Yep.
the actual doing it of it, you know?
Totally get that. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like, goals for this project, I don't have, like, that kind of goal. Like, I don't
Mhm.
have an amount of listening. I don't have an amount of streams goal. I don't have for me, it's, like, almost not really about that anymore. I don't really care what ends up happening with it other than it being beautiful art and meaningful and something that people can be impacted by. Like, I just want the people who get
Totally.
to hear it to be, like to enjoy themselves while they do
Yeah.
and just, like, for it to mean something for them. You know what I mean?
I totally get that, as I feel like I feel that about this podcast. Like, it's a totally different if you wanna call it art form, it's just me
Yeah.
gabbing, but it
Come
is
on.
I've had people actually, I think your husband is one of them who's been like, "Well, what do you want to happen with this? What's your goal?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't have a goal," which sounds, I guess, backwards to a lot of people. But when you're
Mhm.
coming from a dreamer perspective or coming from a heart where it's like, no, this just like brings me joy. And if it reaches one person who gets something out of it, like, great. Now,
Mhm.
I will say the Golden Globes just added a podcast category. So
Ooh, let's
just, you know,
go.
let's have a
Come
dream.
on.
But it's like,
JCW.
right, look out 2026.
Mhm.
But but for you, it's like, it's probably similar where it's like, well, of course you'd love it to go like triple platinum and be competing with T Swift, right? But like, it also is just this joy. And I think when it's something that the Lord has gifted you with that you just love to do, which now we are not talking about the podcast anymore, we're just talking about Carly's beautiful music. The Lord has gifted you to do these things and put this joy in your heart when you do them. Like, that's the joy, that's the dream. But of course, like, if it went viral, you'd be thrilled. Like, no one's saying no. It's just that you don't
No.
need that to be fulfilled by the process. right?
Yeah.
Or the product, really, even.
Yeah, and I think that almost scares me only because, like, life is so, like, fragile, and I think where I am at in life, like, I really, like, enjoy my life, and so, like, for something to go bonkers, like, if something went viral or whatever, I think
Mhm.
it's life-changing.
Sure.
It can be at times for people. That's, like, a little scary to me.
Mhm.
Like,
Sure, yeah.
I'm like, "Well, what does that mean?" Am I
What does that look like?
I'll
Yeah.
have to say, like, no to things or, like, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I think that would be cool, like, doing the thing. And I think for me, I've just struggled for, like, my whole life to, like, do the thing. I don't know if you are this way, but, like, I'm not, like, a natural figure things out. I'm not a natural, like, problem solver, like, I'm not so I think I've just been really scared of the process
Sure.
and of
Yeah,
not
there's
knowing what
fear.
I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I it's really interesting on this like topic of dreaming and just doing because I for this specific thing I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it, which
Uh-huh.
drives technical and like people that know what they're doing. You might go, "What are like your husband came to look at my setup as we were talking about." And I was like, "Callum, you don't this is not what you want to be spending your time on." He came and he was like, "You need to turn your mic." It's like the wrong way. He's like, "This might be part of your sound problem." Like,
Oh my goodness. I
thank
love it.
you. But
Yep.
for this specifically, I was like, I'm just going to do it because I want to do it. And it's like a blast. And I get to talk to these like beautiful, inspiring people who I love and I just want to share with the world. Like, it's not about me. I just truly love talking to you and like sharing your story. And I hope somebody listens to your music and shares your music and is like inspired by you because I am. And that's it. That's my
Aw.
whole thing.
Yeah.
When I was I don't know. I think it was like probably 13, 14 years ago now. I wrote a book and it was
Mhm.
always my dream. My dream was
Mhm.
I want to write a book. I'm going to write a book. It's my dream. It's going to be this big, immature
Yeah.
thought. I was like, it's just going to happen for me because the Lord has put this on my heart and I'm going to write a book and he's going to inspire the book and I'm going to get, a book deal and like
Yep.
this was the dream, right?
Yeah.
Not in a delusional way cuz I didn't think like, oh, this is going to happen no matter what, but it was a
Yeah.
dream. And then I kind of handled that as I'm just going to do it and watch it be what I want it to be. And
Mhm.
lo and behold, life throws some twists and turns, and it was
Mhm.
not. And I've spent years regretting writing
Mm.
that book, thinking it wasn't the right time. And yes, I just was like,
Mm.
well, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And that is a good approach, but I shouldn't have done it. And I've gone
Mm.
through the emotions of that. Like, okay, I have this dream,
Mhm.
I'm going to do it. I did it. I wish I didn't do it. Now, especially in the way I've approached this, and like even hearing you talk about the way you're approaching your music, I can look back at that with some maturity and with some time and space and wisdom and go, yeah, it's not a book I would write now for many, many reasons.
Mhm.
Maybe it was a flawed approach, but also I did it. And like that's all I
Yeah.
needed it to be. So there's this like there is this maturity and wisdom that comes with time and experience,
Mhm.
but I think
Mhm.
you're right. I think I agree with you and obviously I'm doing the same thing in a very different way of just
Yeah.
like but if you want to do it and you can do it like seize the moment and
Yeah.
enjoy it as you're doing it. And that's I love that. And now I can see that.
Yes. Yes, 100%, and I think that is part of the joy of doing the thing you're scared to do.
Mhm.
That's part of the joy of, like, doing the hard thing. Like, I've learned this year what I want to do, this project, it's very hard. It's
Yeah.
very time consuming, and
Anything
it's
worth doing, right? What's the saying? Anything worth doing is hard work. No, I don't. There's
something like that.
some saying like that. Somebody I don't know.
Someone knows. Someone
Someone
knows what it
knows.
is.
Put it in the chat.
Drop it in the comments.
All the people that are listening, please fill her up. Don't argue. Not all at once.
Gosh, but, like, I just, like I think little me would have wanted to see me like, a person like me
Hmm.
now. The people little me had to, like, see doing this was, like, Stacey Arico, like, all
Mm,
the people who had, like, record deals. And I'm
yeah.
like, how they do that? And,
Yeah.
like, I don't even want a record deal now,
Yeah.
but,
Right.
but that's the only way I saw
Hmm.
that happen. But I wish little me had someone to watch do this process
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, that's what it's like." And so that's also a reason why I wanna do it is so, like, people younger than me can be like,
Mhm.
"You could do that too," you know? It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
takes a little grit.
But what a beautiful example to your boys and to the girls that are looking up to you. I mean, even my daughters, and especially Ella, who sings with you
Mhm.
sometimes at church. And, I know that she looks to you as such a strong woman of faith and as a musician and as a worship leader. And so I think sometimes you don't even realize the effect you're having, even, yes, through the work you're doing, like this project, but also in just your everyday approach to life. You are such an inspiration to so many. That is part of why I was so excited to have you on, because I just think that you exude this like beauty and grace in a way that is it's a gift. Not everyone can do that so effortlessly. I don't think you're necessarily trying all the
Huh.
time to be such a gracious light, but you just are.
Huh.
Maybe
Aw.
maybe you're working really hard. No, but you really are. And I think that is applicable to this project, because that is the gift and the heart the Lord has given you. And it is now being able to shine through something you enjoy doing so much because he has gifted you. It's like the circle
Yeah.
of the gift, of the dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Katie. That was really, like, way too kind and sweet, but I received that. I'm gonna hold that,
Receive it. Take
and
it.
I'm gonna
Take
hold
it.
that in a
It's
little treasure
true.
box in my heart for a long time to get
It's
out when I need it on a
true.
bad day.
Good. It's all true.
Yeah, and I also wanna say, I think I'm thinking about, like, the season, like, the last, like, 4 or 5 years of just, like, I've been in a job that I really just don't love. I mentioned that earlier.
Mhm.
And we've gone through a lot of change, like, we moved from Chicago to here. I was,
Yeah.
like,
How long have you
grieving a
been
lot.
here locally?
We've been here 4 years,
Okay.
almost 4
Well,
years
it
now.
feels like longer, but okay, so that was all part of. Did you keep the same job in the move? Were
Kept the
you
same job, so, like,
Okay.
I got that job in Chicago and it was remote. So, like, but one thing I just wanna share about that is I remember saying this to someone, just that like, "Oh, I'm doing fine, I just don't love what I'm doing," and
Mhm.
for me, that's, like, really I just really wanna love what I do. I feel like I'm just, like, a passionate person, and I just wanna, like,
Mhm.
feel like that all the time, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not real life.
Right.
But
Right.
I remember her saying to me, God's gonna use it, like, in the future. And I held on to that, and it encouraged me so much, like, in the moment, and I wanna say that, like, for anyone who's feeling like that,
Mhm.
like, it genuinely is for some sort of purpose, and I even just, like, within this last year, I feel like I've used some of the skills that I've learned in this random event coordinating and marketing job that I have,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, to help me with this project, which has
Yeah.
just been really fun to see the Lord just be like, "See, you learned some stuff,
Look at all
and
those
you're using it
skills you
for
just
fun
gained.
now," you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's such a valuable perspective too. Like, even as we're walking a couple of our kids through the like beginning stages of looking at colleges and trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? And at
yeah.
16, almost 17 years old, like, of course they don't know what they want to do. Like, I didn't know,
No.
but you also want them to have some direction. And so
Mhm.
that encouragement of like what you do even in your college career versus the beginning stages of a career, what that morphs into. Like, you might not always love what you do, but my husband always reminds me, like, let your work be work.
Mhm.
And there is often value, especially as believers, especially as we trust God to kind of, use the churchy terms of like order our steps and open the right
Mhm.
doors. And we can say all
Mhm.
the things that are on the litany of in the litany of church speak
Yeah.
things. But I do think that he can use it all if we are focused on him and trusting him. But the reminder of like, it's okay that your passion is not always your work and your work is not always your passion, but keep your eye on the prize, kind of a thing. Because
Yeah.
case in point, that
Yeah.
work has become valuable in pursuing your dream. So
Mhm.
like that's such a valuable lesson, and something, I want to make sure that we're reiterating to our kids, because that's important for them to know. Like, you're not just gonna, maybe you are, but likely not gonna just be doing what you love. It's work.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, and, I had a season of, like, doing what I love in Chicago, but also it
Mhm.
was really hard, and
Sure.
it was parts that were, like, really also confusing, just, like, there was a hardness and a, faith growing aspect of doing what I loved as
Mhm.
well. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this since you've been doing the podcast, but, like, I'm curious. I remember you telling me you're doing a podcast, and I was like, "Let's go. Yes, please." I'm curious where this came from, though, for
Maybe
you.
you're maybe you're regretting that that
Come
that
on.
encouragement.
No, not at all, but, like,
Where did the
I'm
idea
curious.
for this come from?
Just, like, where did it start stirring? Like, did you just all of a sudden one day wake up and be like, "It's a podcast. I'm gonna do a podcast." But, like, where is it? Where was it?
I mean, the short answer,
Huh?
the long short, short long answer
It's your
is,
podcast, Katie.
well, and I'm not the star of the show, you know?
Come on,
I'm a
go
guest
for it.
star. No, I was always a writer,
Mhm,
and I did write a book, like I said, that I
mhm.
mostly regret, but I've tried to find the positive in the experience.
Yes, yes, which there is.
I went through a season because writing was my passion always and
Mhm,
always what I was good at. I could write
mhm,
anything for anyone. So I wrote
mhm,
professionally, I wrote personally, I wrote for everything from auto repair shops to, Fortune 500 companies. Like I did it all. I wrote speeches for politicians. I got to a point where I got burned out from writing and I went through a really difficult season in my faith
mhm,
a few years ago, and I was like, I just don't want to do it anymore. And
mhm,
I received prophecies as a young
mhm,
woman about being a
mhm,
writer and doing all
mhm.
these things, and I was just like, I'm tired of chasing this. Like, what am I doing? I'm tired of chasing this. And so I ran from writing, and that's when I became a photographer.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And I still have certain friends that are like, when are you going to write again? You need to write again.
Mm, mhm,
This was kind of my answer to that
mhm,
need to, like you were saying, your music, like you needed to get it out of you.
mhm, mhm,
My heart has always been to, like, not connect for me personally. I still have a hard time putting words together for this, but like
mhm.
this, like, you're not alone kind of thing. Like, we're
Yeah.
not all crazy, but we're also all crazy together,
Mhm, mhm.
and shared experience, because I don't know, that's just always been my heart for other women.
Yeah.
And I used to host Bible studies at my house and young women's ministry. I started with a friend, and that's
Mhm,
always been a passion of mine. So this was like
mhm.
my answer to taking like all that instead of writing it
Yeah,
on paper and just spewing it out into the world, but having other
yeah.
people be such a big part of it, because that really is my heart. It's not like
Mhm,
I don't have any desire to just sit here and talk about what I know and don't know, because I know
mhm.
way less than I do know, or I know way less than I don't know. So that's really it. I mean, and I don't know if that's a very long answer to a short question, but
Well, it's really interesting. It's almost like it's a pause on something, but it's a play on another and almost like something new.
mhm,
It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you can't unpause the other thing, but, like, I also really I think it's important to pause things
mhm.
if you need to.
Yes, totally. And I also feel, and I think that can be totally true, and I accept that.
Mhm.
I also feel like this is a version that's like a reinvention almost of what that
Mhm.
always has been in me. It feels very
Yeah.
like this is a different outlet for that.
Mhm.
And I've always when we were talking about you being not afraid, but a little bit timid to speak, singing,
Yeah.
I will take a mic in front of 10 or 10,000. Like, it doesn't phase me at all. And we
Mhm.
always joke because Joe cannot speak in front of people. Like, he will talk the
What?
paint off a wall, but he cannot speak in front of groups. Oh my
I
gosh.
did
No,
not know
Carly,
that.
he will literally start to sweat. Like, he even the at our vow renewal,
Yeah.
which you were at,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, he's like, we really should thank everyone for coming right before dinner. And our sweet daughter, Ella,
Mhm.
prayed for dinner. But before that, he's like, we really should say something. I was like, go ahead. He was like, I can't. No, no, no. And he hands me the mic. I was like, okay, got it. And I just did, and
That's
whatever.
so funny.
But yeah, that's always been part of it too. So I think it's like this writing and speaking
Mhm.
thing. This is like a
Mhm.
really good, like, reinvention of the way I've always done those things. And it
I
feels
love that.
a lot more natural and like manageable to me.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I really
Well,
was genuinely
thank you for
curious.
having me.
Maybe I should have asked, like, on the phone tomorrow or something, but
You can
just
cut
now
it all
everybody
out.
knows.
Yeah,
No,
no.
don't do that.
No, thank you for asking, but I haven't really like fleshed it out, so you just helped me process out loud. But yeah, I that's really it. And I hope that that is getting I think my goal, I hope that it's like my heart is being shared appropriately and that like
Yeah.
the goal is to affect other women in a positive way and I hope that that's being accomplished. Not because of me, but through this.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, that's the thing when that's the thing when you're, like, trying to do something,
Mhm.
and you also have all of this, like, "Well, I don't want it to come across like this, and I don't want it to be for the wrong reasons," and all of that junk
Mhm.
stops us from doing it.
Mhm.
What if they think I'm doing it because I wanna like the sound of my own voice? Because 'Cause
Yeah.
I've heard that. "You just like the
Mhm.
sound of your own voice."
Yeah, love it.
Stop.
Can't wait to hear
Like
myself in the morning every day.
like, or just like or, you just like, all these things that you we can make up that we wonder or people think that. But those are all things that stop us from, I think, walking in the individual that we are.
Yeah, I agree,
And,
and
like
100%. I think social media is a big factor. Like even for me personally with this, and I wonder how you feel about this with your music. I
mhm,
have spent a good part of the past 10 years, which is how long I've been
mhm,
married,
mhm, mhm,
making very few social posts. I mean, I share milestones and stuff, but I don't like some people post multiple times a
mhm,
day and I'm always like, good for them, but I'm like,
mhm,
I'm not and I've spent a lot of time protecting my information from
mhm,
just making it private. Let's just put it that way.
mhm, mhm,
And so in doing this, that challenged me to be like,
mhm,
if I'm going to do this, I can't try to keep it from
mhm,
anyone in particular or be afraid of what the people I have always kind of hidden from
mhm,
will say or think or share or do or whatever.
mhm.
And so there's some freedom in being like, yeah, I know they're probably seeing it. And I'm like, hi, if you're watching, which I'm sure you are, welcome. But if not, like, okay. But I mean, that is a very real hurdle. Like I've had to, it's like this like self-exposure that I've been so afraid of for years
Yeah, yeah.
for good reason, but still
Mhm,
now I'm like, it is what it is. This is me. This is
yeah,
what I'm doing. I love my life. I love my like I have nothing to hide.
mhm,
But it's more just this like vulnerability that I'm like I've had to accept as part of what I need and want and dream of doing, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, I mean,
totally.
have you had like any similar experience to that or feeling that like pressure of just like you were saying what other people might think or it's a tough thing to get over.
Yeah, yeah, I think that I've actually struggled with what people think of the fact that I'm not doing something, I don't have my own music out there. Also struggled with it's a hurdle, like you're saying, like,
Mhm.
you kept at some point, you have to just do the thing
Mhm.
no matter what anyone's gonna say, and I think for me, with music at least, I really wanted to love it, like, the actual music, and that just comes with, like, if it's not your vibe or your taste, like, that's fine, like, I have
Right.
music that I'm just like, and
Right.
like, from, like, other
Sure.
people, and it's no hate, it's just, like, not your thing. So and I think that if you're going to create things and send them out into the world, that's just the reality. Some people will resonate with it, some people won't. Some people will be impacted or changed by it, and some people won't. And that's also the reason why you do it.
Definitely. Are your boys how old are the boys again?
5 and 7.
Gosh, how
I know.
cutest. Are they musical? Because both you and Callum are, so I would assume yes, but
They have started playing simply piano. Watson is slowly getting better than us at the piano.
stop.
We played, like, our first family song for Callum's Callum's dad's 70th birthday. We recorded 500 Miles, which is, like, written by a Scottish
Oh
person.
my gosh, I love it. Which because
We
Callum is Scottish?
well, it
No?
that's why it worked, but it's not why we did it. The reason why we did it is because
No, I'm just for
Watson
our listeners, for all the many
Oh,
people
yes,
listening,
Callum is. Yeah,
Callum is
like,
Scottish.
actually from the motherland.
I love listening to him talk.
I know.
Joe loves listening to Callum talk,
We
so
actually, like we moved in Chicago, we had neighbors, and the one neighbor we found out years after we're, like, really close, we became really close, but years after we knew each other, he admitted to us that he's always struggled with understanding accents, and he was, like, so nervous around Callum all the time because he could never understand him. It was the cutest, saddest thing, but
That's
now they're, like,
sweet.
golf buddies and stuff.
I love it.
But yeah, no, it's fun.
Okay, so your boys played with you.
They're
Sorry, I
starting to be
derailed
musical. No,
you.
you're fine.
Yeah.
They're starting to be musical, which is really fun to see. And yeah, Milo, my youngest, he like wore my campaign shirt to school today with like the lyrics on the back. Like he's like,
Oh,
it's really cute. They're like proud. It's adorable.
I love that.
So that's also just like really sweet, like one of
That's
those
so
things
fun.
that's fun to see. So,
You're gonna be like, was the Partridge Family?
oh
They were a
gosh.
family band, right? You're
Yeah,
too
them and
young. You're too young to know.
no, there was I think it's like the Gettys. I think they're from Ireland or like the UK somewhere.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
You'd
We'll
be
just have
like a
to wait
little
and
family
see.
band. You got to get a van and like paint
Yeah.
it and travel and do
My gosh.
open mic nights.
Be amazing. Like literally, I said to Calma, I was like, if I could do a gig, I could have like Watson play for me, like
Oh
at
my
least
gosh,
one
it's
song.
7. It's 7.
How
He's
cute would
like
that be?
a prodigy already.
Shout out to Simply Piano. I mean,
That's
that thing
amazing.
teaches. It's good.
And wait, is Milo playing?
He's starting to play too. He's
Oh
playing
my gosh.
chords. It's crazy.
Wow. That's
It's
so
crazy.
cool. I
It's
love
so
that. Are they
fun.
singers too? I bet they have good voices.
Can't tell yet.
Hmm.
Watson has like a mean vibrato. I don't know what's happening there.
I love
Like,
it. Wait, will you please record him singing and playing a
I'll
song?
send it to you.
I
I'll send it to
I
you.
need to hear the 7-year-old vibrato, please.
Yes, I will get that to you.
It's like Britney Spears on Star Search. Have you seen those like old clips? Well, it's just like
No.
crazy vibrato when she was on
My
Star Search.
gosh,
Yeah.
no.
Poor Britney.
I love that you know that fun fact. I know.
Of course I do. The television raised me in the 80s, Carlie. I
Yeah,
know all those
seriously.
things. Please.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I love that, and I bet your boys will be gifted, but will be like little stars because you guys are just full of talent, and I can't imagine that would not be part of who they are, whether they like
Yeah,
it or not.
it'll be fun to see what happens, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So how does Callum feel about what you're doing, about your project? Like, I'm sure he's supportive, but like
Yeah.
what like Scottish words of wisdom has he spoken into your life?
He's so funny. Because we're both, for people who don't know, if anyone is still listening,
There's like one. I can name
right?
him too. I know who it is.
We're both musical. And
Mhm.
so this project though, he's been always there to help, happy to help. That's like been his phrase. But it's like my project. I think people would initially, because we could be a duo if we wanted to
Which I
be,
love when you guys
which is
do
like,
nights
I always
out.
say like we're better together. And he did help me write this song. So
Okay.
I'm like, it's better because you helped me. Like, it's just better because we're better together.
Yeah.
But he's always been very much like, it's my project
Mhm.
because it's been my dream.
Mhm.
And he's pushed me to do the hard things. And, it has been my biggest cheerleader in that way. But yeah, he's not allowed me to rely on him
Mm. Interesting.
if I can.
Would you
He's
have
like,
more if he did?
if he wanted the same thing, I'd have just been along for the ride and
Mm.
enjoyed it.
Okay.
But that's not what the Lord had. 'Cause it's just not. He's, like, kinda morphed over time. He's wanting to write a book eventually. He's, done music for a long time, but I kind of, like, stayed on the same thing, and he's
Yeah.
kind of gone
Yeah.
still does music and stuff, but so he's just really encouraged me to do it myself, and I'm really thankful for that, like,
Yeah.
because I've learned a lot, but like I said, he's always helped, and he's playing on the song as well and stuff
I
like
love
that,
that.
so
I mean,
but
I
yeah.
love that you guys have such a like incredible dynamic. I mean, obviously, I don't pretend to know the ins and outs of your marriage, but in terms of like couples that we look to and are like, gosh, like I want my marriage to look like this. Like I want that
Aw.
dynamic. And I feel very much like Joe and I adore my husband, and like we have a beautiful life that we've been blessed to build together, and like we love each other. That is not always the case. when you look at other couples. So when we find, I guess this is my point, when we find ourselves in the company of other couples that we enjoy, not only as individuals, but as a couple, and feel like there's like things to learn from them and that we can connect on the fact that we love our spouses, like that's not common. And so we value that greatly in you guys because we really, I mean, look, life is busy. And so we don't get to spend a ton of time together. And, but when we do, it's always great. And, you know, I really I've had some fantastic conversations with both you and your husband. And I know our husbands get along so well. And so I just think it's important to have those relationships in your life of like, not only individuals you can look to, but that example of marriage is like such a beautiful and rare, unfortunately rare thing. But you guys are definitely like the best.
Oh, well, I don't know if we're the best, but we try. And thank you. And like
You're one of the best.
10 years, us both in the same
Yeah,
boat. Like,
yeah.
let's go. You know?
Yeah, we threw that party for you guys.
My gosh,
too.
stop.
It
Poor
was just
Callan's been listening to me talk about this dream for 10 years. Every birthday. Every birthday. I'd be like, I really wanna do that. I
what
really
a
wanna
cool
work on my
thing
music.
that now it's here. Like that's so cool.
I'm not kidding you. Like, poor man must have been, whoa, who is this chick? Just freaking do it, you know?
No, he loved
Like,
you through it.
oh my
He loved you
gosh.
through it. And here
So
we
to
are.
anyone out there who's like, you know, still not done the thing, it's never too late. It just never is.
And get yourself
Don't
a
let
man
it
that
be.
will stand by you and encourage you to do it. And maybe not, it doesn't have to be the pastor you're standing behind.
Oh my gosh, no. And also, you don't need a man to do it too.
It's so true.
But if you have one, hopefully he'll encourage you and
He'll
let
encourage you
do
through
it
it.
yourself. Yeah.
On that note, back to you out now. We do have to play it. You do have to send me the file. I'll share a clip, but I will encourage everyone to stream everywhere you get your music or somewhere specific.
Anywhere.
Everywhere. All the places.
Anywhere, girl.
All the things.
All places. All places.
They should stream this episode. They should stream your song, and then they should just put it on a loop.
Yeah, repeat one because that's I only have one song under my name so far.
It's okay.
So.
And then when the next one comes, it shouldn't be repeat two, and like we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep it on a loop. I love it. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this with me and for encouraging me since before this became a thing. And now that you know the story, staying with me until even the end of this episode.
Girl.
I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. No, thanks for having me, Katie. It's been fun. I just
I can't wait to
at coffee.
I love it. And that's the whole point. And I can't wait for more music. And we're just going to continue. When the next one comes out, you just have to come back so we can talk about it. Okay.
Will do.
Bye.
Okay.
Mercies are new with every morning, faithful and true from the beginning. That's just the start.